around 2015, I noticed that I had some spots popping up on my skin, and they were becoming very noticeable. I'm a teacher, and my students would point them out, and other coaches would point them out, and I would get very self-conscious. I started to cover my arms. I wore long sleeves year-round. So in that time, I went to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist was like, well, yeah, this is an extreme form of atopic dermatitis or eczema, so here's some creams. And so I had the creams, and none of them worked. Nothing changed. It just seemed as though the condition may have been worsening. So years passed, and I just, dealt with it. I was like, it's just eczema. I mean, everybody, it's normal. People get eczema all the time, so don't worry about it. My 20-year anniversary is coming up, and I looked at myself after taking a shower and just like, I just do not want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to have to pick a wedding dress that is covering my arms or covering my back. I want to be able to pick any dress I want and not worry about my skin. I just felt in my spirit to go to a dermatologist that in Houston. And by this time I've made the move to Houston. So I go to a dermatologist in Houston, and as soon as I walked in, she was like, hey, I want to do some biopsies on you. And I was like, okay, I've had biopsies before. They've always come back as atopic dermatitis. So here it is, another time I'm doing a biopsy. But this time when they called, it was a little different. She was like, hey, your biopsy results came back rare, and we do need to have you come in for a consultation and talk to you about the results. She calls me and she's like, hey, I want to inform you that you do have a type of cancer. Your biopsy came back as a type of cancer. And I'm like, okay, a type of skin cancer? Okay, so I've had a friend with skin cancer. We just go in, we can take it out, and we can move forward. And she was like, no, it's not that type of cancer. This is actually a blood type cancer. It's actually called cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, where the cancer is actually travels through the blood. And that was like a gut punch, like, whoa, so this is something more serious than me just getting some cream and an injection. She was like, yes, it is, and I'm gonna have to recommend that you go to an oncologist. We need to make this appointment very quickly because we need to see if the cancer is actually traveling in your blood, or even worse, in your bone marrow. That was a hard moment, but I knew in my heart that God was going to do something with what He had just told me. This had not been the first time that I got some gut punching information from doctors. So this was another, I knew would be another opportunity for God to show up in a miraculous way in my life. And so He recommended that I only go to the radiologist. He sent me to the radiologist and was like, you're going to have a lot of radiation because the condition looks like it's covering 85% of your skin. And that's gonna be a lot of radiation, so I'm sure we're gonna have to balance it out with chemo. I went to MD Anderson and I meet with the dermatologist, and she said, hey, I wanna do my own staging. I'm gonna do my own blood test here so that I can make sure we are treating this the way that it needs to be treated. Because in other cases, a lot of oncologists have over-treated it, and they could actually blow your whole system up. I do my blood test, and she was like, I did want to let you know that your biopsy did come back with the lymphoma, but she gave me my results, and she said that there is no cancer in my blood. My blood was clear, and that my bone marrow and everything was clear. She said, but she just would recommend that we treat the skin. And we were gonna treat the skin with a light therapy. And she said, and once we do this light therapy, she was like, you're gonna actually feel the relief from the itch, and the spots are gonna go away. And so I was just like, oh my God, I mean, and I was, of course, elated that the cancer was not in my blood, thanking God for that, and that it was not in my bone marrow. But when she said that these spots would start going away, it melted my heart, and it just made me just really see God like, you really have shown me that my ways are not your ways and my thoughts are not your thoughts. I just am so grateful for everyone that has been praying and fasting with me through this. And now that I've started my treatment and starting to see a difference in my skin and just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and just knowing that God is so good and He has continued to show Himself worthy of all praise and honor and glory. I just thank Him, and I thank Word of Truth for allowing me to tell my testimony. Because you just have to know that God is there and He is there and He hears all of your prayers, and we may not understand how He's going to answer them, and we may not understand the timing in which He does it or His methods that He uses, but He is always going to show Himself worthy, and everything works together for the good. Even the scary moments, it works together for the good. I just thank you guys.